We had a meeting on April 23rd, Tuesday, at the clubhouse, and we were going to have Lucas, who went fishing with CA Richardson up in northwest central Florida. This is one of the fish that he caught, redfish. So we were going to have a discussion about red fishing. He and Mike went fishing with CA Richardson and had a wonderful day that day. But it turns out that Lucas came back to Miami and departed on a cruise to Alaska. And actually he asked, could we record the meeting, because he wasn't going to be there. So we decided, well, what we would do is first take a look at a video with C.A. Richardson, and then secondly, have a discussion within the club. So I'll show you the starting sequence for the...
to fish in the entire state, honestly, the entire southeastern United States, and that is Islamorada, Florida, where I'm going to meet up with Denk. Denk is Dave Denkert, Captain Dave Denkert, a legend in the Florida Keys, and has been fishing Flamingo and Florida Bay for 50 plus years. Dave launches out of a historic bar, if you will, the Lorelei. It's a landmark here in Islamorada. And we make that trek over there, and he's taken me to a zillion places to fish over there, and almost every time it's lights out fishing.
So we watch this video first, and then from this we go into the discussion of the club, which is what's going to follow. Okay? So I hope you enjoy. You're here? No. All right, so here we are, right? All right, Lucas. He's in Alaska on a cruise right now, so he's dying. He'd rather be here. All right, so what's the deal? Who's going to go first? Nobody's going to go first? Come on, Dr. Phil.
You want to talk about reds?
Yeah, let's talk about where we can look for them, or what the characteristic places are. What are we looking for?
I made a surprising discovery last year. And I watched all these guides polling their clients all over the flats at Flamingo. Nobody was getting redfish, but I was. And I was finding schools on a very shallow flat, tide outgoing, but only where the water was clear. And so I'd get on the upwind side and drift down, and I'd pick up schools of reds along the way. And as soon as I hit the mullet muds, the reds were gone. Now I used to catch reds in mullet muds, but not last summer. They would not.
Just the clear water?
Only clear. As soon as, and I learned after 2 or 3 trips, as soon as the water turns murky, sure, there's mullet and stingrays and everything else, but there's no reds. Go back up to the top and drift it again, and you'll pick up the schools.
Okay.
So that was my surprise, and my hypothesis about why is that the reds are trying to avoid the sharks, and so in clear water they can see them, in cloudy water they can't.
Okay.
That's my hunch.
All right. All right, that's a good tip. Okay, so let me get up and stand up.
Only problem is in clear water they can see you too.
They can see you, yes.
Can't get as close.
All right, who's next? Roger?
Okay, I like to fish in the Slagle Stitch. You see the fish coming down the flats on the incoming tide, going right up the Slagle Stitch.
Okay.
And then on the outgoing tide,
They're going the other way.
They're coming right back out again. And so getting in there is easy if it's a high tide, but you got to watch it. If you're at a low tide, you get stuck. So
what are you laughing for? You got stuck.
Get out of the boat and push.
Or walk. It's still sandy there, right?
Well, you sink in a lot.
Okay. Never, ever get out of the boat at Flamingo. Never. Never. It may look like sand, right? That's why I asked you.
Right.
It looks like sand, but it's 9 feet deep. Quicksand.
You pick up the redfish, the snook, and the tarpon.
And they're just going past you. They're going past you.
They come to you when they're in the mouth there at Slagle Stitch.
So what'd you use for lure or bait?
Use a flat-headed bucktail and a tip with a shrimp.
Okay.
A chartreuse with a white head.
You let it lay there, or you jig it?
You just throw it out there and they hit it as soon as it hits the water.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. In my dreams, your reality, but in my dreams.
Oh, no, I took my grandkids there, they caught all kinds of stuff.
Yeah? Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go there and put Roger's name on it then. You got any advice on what you're using, fly or using artificial?
Both. But if I really just am desperate to catch fish, I'll use a 5-inch pearl jerk shad, rig weedless.
Okay.
And I have if I really want to make it tasty, I've got a little 3D printed cone that goes on the leader ahead of that adds a little color to it and also keeps the weeds from fouling it.
Okay. That's a good
And
idea.
I just read a paper. I've been printing these things in red, and they seem to work pretty well for snook, but I just read that redfish can't see red. They see into the orange, and then their vision drops off. So here people put all these little red marks on their lures and flies and everything else. The redfish aren't seeing red. They see into the orange, but that's it. Trout don't even see into the orange.
Really?
Yeah, their shoulder drops off even sooner, so they'll see through yellow. So I'm going to start printing my little cones in yellow.
Okay. It's a good idea.
How come
It's
the
like
white
the middle
redhead
of the
mirror works so well?
It's not the red head. It's the white lure. It just does great. But it turns out, the red is appearing as black. I mean, they see it, but it looks like black. It's not reflecting light that's visible.
Right.
They don't have an option for picking up the red.
Well, maybe they
Sea trout
the
can't see red
blackhead looks like.
No, their vision cuts off even sooner than the redfish.
So
Yeah, that's true.
They see
Depends on the-
up through yellow.
They can't see it.
Depends on the cone
How about purple?
composition of the retinas.
How about purple?
Purple, yeah. Well, they're seeing well into the blue.
Okay.
They see ultraviolet.
Okay.
So purple would be okay to them.
And yellow and
yellow. But the trout are going to
So
drop
root
off.
beer would be good then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the
chartreuse.
The little flex. They like
Chartreuse, right.
They like
There you
chartreuse.
It ain't no use if it ain't chartreuse.
They like chartreuse.
Successful mirror.
That's one of Jerry's savings.
Yeah, but if it's shiny with a red dot, they'll just see it shiny with a black dot. It's still attractive.
Right.
It's just not red. It's not standing out in a vibrant, catch your eye color. It's giving them contrast. They like that. It's just not seen the way we thought they were.
Anybody else?
Just being picked up by the rods.
Yeah,
Or yes.
Yeah.
the inside edge.
Some of us are just relaxing and enjoying, right? It's okay.
Inside edge.
You're freshwater. You can teach us in freshwater. That's fine. We'll try to introduce you to saltwater. I'm sorry, Dave?
Inside edge of Clive Key, right where the,
North side?
right on the corner.
That little trough along the inside there.
Corner, yeah. There's actually a ledge there as well. You can pull up against the shore and fish just off.
Out into the channel.
Well, you think it's into the channel, but there's a ledge. If you cast towards towards Murray,
Mm-hmm.
it comes back up, and evidently that funnels the fish in.
Yeah, I'm kind of stuck on it.
Interesting. All
And
right.
if you go around the other side, where it doesn't have a ledge, that's where you catch snook,
On the south side,
the west side,
west side.
the west side of Clive.
Okay.
You know, where the channel comes out and it goes, Clive is on this side, and so you've got one going that way, and that corner has a ledge that you catch redfish, and if you go up until, actually the depth shallows up as you go further out.
Yes.
Right where it starts showing up, it's where I've caught snook.
Awesome.
But there's good water movement there, that's probably,
Well, it's the headwater of Conchie Channel,
yeah, well,
that whole area.
that's not that way.
Yeah. But I mean, it's the
Yeah, yeah.
beginning of Conchie, up in there. All right. Russell, not going to share any wisdom with us today? No. All right, let me go back here and put these guys on the spot. Okay, so here's the guy here that's just about the most productive in the club, right? So we'll see if we can get him to say anything to us. All right. No pressure. No pressure. Just relax. Tell us all of your secrets.
2 words. Snake bite.
Snake bite.
That's where I catch most of my fish.
Yeah.
Do you catch them up by Christian Point, or you go all the way up Snake Bite, or all of the above?
All the above. But I tend to like going up Snake Bite Channel and fishing on the flats. More against the shoreline. That's
Up,
where I find more
up in the Gibby
redfish.
Point area.
On the shorelines, I tend to catch more snook.
Okay. I think that's where they were catching snook.
So if you're fishing right in the channel in the deeper part, I think you're more likely to catch a snook and just sneak up a little bit more shallow and fish a little bit more shallow, and then you'll find the redfish. And it's very murky water there, so I like to power fish. You gotta cover a lot of water, skim, very shallow baits, weedless, lightweight, and you'll find them. You just gotta work for them, you know. Unless you find a big school, which are not always there, you'll find them. You just gotta work for them. You gotta cover some ground. Fish around mullet, fish around any visual signs, birds in the area, wakes, jumping bait.
I'll back up wakes. That's what I like.
The wakes.
Seeing the wakes, right?
Yeah, it's great.
I mean,
The hard part
so how deep is the
determining-
water? How deep is the water?
Less than a foot of water.
Yeah.
A foot of water less
Yeah.
probably. And right on that drop off, when it gets between a foot to 1.5 feet, I think that's where they are.
I got a question for you guys. So if I see a snook wake, I can put a lure in front of it, and that snook will hit it. But if I see a redfish wake, usually that redfish is going somewhere. You guys have any luck getting a lure in front of a redfish that's laid for a funeral? I mean, will it still bite stuff, or is it just on its way?
If he's late for the funeral, if he's moving, he's on its way. I find those harder to catch. You gotta be kind of sitting there, and you see him sitting there. They're kind of waiting for something to pass in front of them.
That's what I come up with, yeah.
Yeah. If they're moving, they're a little harder to catch.
But snook, I can catch a moving snook, but not a moving red.
I agree. I think snook in general are more aggressive, so.
Well, they also hunt moving really fast, whereas reds usually hunt going slow.
They're digging. They're digging in the bottom.
They're digging, right.
Yeah.
They're
At least the
going
way I
crabs
fish.
and shrimp in the bottom.
Unless you're fishing really slow and it's hard in the shallow flats because you're getting your baits full of the grass. It's really hard to make them presentable because you're getting snagged in grass unless you're coming.
That's my con.
That's where you're using the cone. It's hard to move really slow in the grass.
I showed you guys that con one night, except mine was red, now I know I gotta make it yellow.
Well, you got to share the file with me so I can print my own.
You gotta make a batch. Everyone gives you $10. Just make a whole batch for the club.
Right.
That's a good idea.
Okay, well, for me. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we use them all the time
Yeah.
on the freshwater side. But either clear or red. I've never seen them red.
Let me go back here to these guys.
When you use a spoon, you buy a spoon.
You
sometimes,
fish
add a little
offshore,
red
right?
cones on it.
Not too much the flats.
Okay.
Eddie, you're fantastic. Leo, you got anything? All right, welcome to the club.
Redfish in. Just your secret. How do you catch it?
Black bucktail jig,
Okay,
black mamba.
black one
Black.
with a shrimp tip.
You can tip it with the shrimp. Like,
Do you lay it on the bottom or do you jig it across?
I jig it. I let it lay on the bottom a little bit, but I'll jig it every once in a while. Never
You
fails.
come back with more redfish than any of us.
There you go.
Yep.
Black mamba, black jig,
Really.
black bucktail.
Yeah.
Ready to
Take
go.
a black mama onto snake bite flat.
Yeah,
They're amazing.
You'll catch redfish.
yeah, but Snakebite Flat's only 50 miles long. I'll come off camera. I'll come off camera and I'll discuss it with you. Okay? I'm not going to discuss it on camera because we don't want people up there.
There's people up there all the time.
I know.
It's not a secret.
I know.
And that was in the morning, in the afternoon.
All right, guys. So Lucas, that's the best we can do for you right now. Anybody else on YouTube? Why don't you come by, attend a meeting, join us, be glad to have you, and we have a lot of fun, okay? We do a meeting twice a month on the second and the fourth Tuesday, and an outing once a month, usually in the middle of the month. So we still got to figure out what we're going to do with May. All right, guys, thank you. So long, you two.